My rant. What shall I rant about this week? Here we go. Hell yeah, we finna go. Like, man.
Hey y'all, I'm Kiki Hunter.
What's good, people? I'm Mark Hunter.
Welcome
Welcome
to
to
the
the
Hunt
Hunt
Life
Life
Podcast.
Podcast.
We created this podcast to give a real view of life as millennials navigating the world.
Real life discussions about the struggles our generation go through from family, love, and everyday life.
What's good, peoples? Hunt here.
Hey y'all, it's Kiki.
Welcome to the Hunt Life Podcast. This episode 26. And how was your week? What's something that you learned about last week?
Resilience.
Resilience, as you say. Meaning.
Meaning things will happen, but it's about how you deal with them at the end of the day and how you deal with the people. How you deal with the situation, how you deal with people.
Yeah.
So I learned that, like, regardless of what happens, I can still show up. And even though it might not be what I want or how I want, I'm still able to push through. And, like, that's a pretty dope characteristic trait to have.
Yeah.
So I learned, and I learned how to keep people where they is. I think I've learned how to make boundaries or like really like box people off. Like understand like this person's for this person like
putting people in their place.
Yeah.
But not in a rude way, you know.
Yeah, that part.
Places where they're supposed to go.
Yeah, that part. That exactly that. So I had it this week.
Yeah, I know. Didn't come out giggling or nothing. You just came right on in with resilience.
I'm getting it together. Really? This episode's gonna go.
Nah, I be trying to slack up. I don't say it as much on all the episodes, but if it be too wild, then it's like I gotta say something. So I guess what I learned this week was understanding. Just understand. Like, I mean, once again, nothing is never really. It's understanding that nothing has a timeline. It comes when it comes. It goes when it goes. It just reveals itself to you when it's ready to reveal itself to you.
Wow, that's very deep. Okay.
Thank you. But no, besides that, I mean, that's just pretty much what it's about. It's just the whole understanding thing. Is you got to have some type of understanding to be able to overcome your obstacles and stuff like that.
No, that's true.
So
you
that's
have to
like,
be able to understand, yep.
That's
then
something
what you do
I learned.
after the understanding.
Yep, that's what makes or break you.
Yeah.
Is once you understand it, do you keep going forward or do you let that hold you back?
Yeah.
So yeah, understanding.
That's what's up. I like that.
Thank you. So you want to tell these people about what you did over last weekend?
Child, I don't even know about the story. First of all, I feel like I've been hella busy and I don't like it. I'm just, it's crazy. I'm not an outside person. That's all I keep learning about myself. Like, I really enjoy the comfort of my home. It's cheaper, okay? For one, it's cheaper. And then it's just more peaceful here. Like, it's just a lot. Being outside is a lot. It's just a lot. But I had my very first speaking event, which the speaking event itself was amazing. I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to do it. I almost did not do it.
But you overcame.
I overcame it because Mark harassed me.
Yeah, you're right. I did. For sure.
Literally harassed.
Yeah, because we're going to get this stuff done.
Sit at home and be harassed or go and leave the house and be harassed. And I took my chances outside because that's how bad it was in the house. So,
bro, we entrepreneurs. We got to put ourselves out there to be able to get stuff started. So that was your time to shine.
I'm just saying.
Because that was your time to shine. That was your stuff. So you had to be there so you can be able to put your brand forward.
That's true. But it was though. I'm glad I went and I had the opportunity because it was like, it was cool to see a bunch of Black females to get in one room and not have like a bunch of drama, not have a bunch of like, it was just like nothing but peaceful, positive vibes, and like that's something that I don't think you see enough of. Not because it's not out there, just because you just don't. They don't promote it. So I was happy to be a part of that experience.
Yeah.
And it made me want to do it more. I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, but you know, I have to take away things that I feel like I wanted to do better.
Hmm.
And
You got to add another title to your name, speaker. You been getting your titles on, like, getting your titles up. Like, yeah, your bio gonna be lit. Like, you gotta put so many different titles in your bio. I just gotta put, podcaster and amateur meteorologist, car
okay.
enthusiast, and owner of Mr. Hunt Bubbles. You got a author, speaker, self coach, like pop up shop authority. Wait, what's the word? I couldn't even get the word
you being childish.
right.
Now you just being childish. But it was cool, and I'm looking forward to doing more and meeting more people. But I also understand, like, meeting more people, they want you to be outside, and I can't sign up for that. Like, I can't. That part is like,
But the thing about you being outside, it means it brings opportunities to everything.
that's true. But I
So
gotta find a balance. That's
yeah,
what I think. I think it's making me realize, like, really to find like a balance.
yeah,
And, like, how often can I go out and like be okay, like, socially,
yeah,
like for my social ticker go off.
true.
So I think that's the main part for me. But
That part.
it was really good, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I went through with it, and even though it was a bunch of chaos around it, I overcame. And
Okay.
I showed a lot of growth this week
Mm-hmm.
because old Kiki booked my shit.
For shit show.
But I did not do that. I used all my technique to get
Mm-hmm.
me through. And I'm proud of myself for
To
that.
be a good coach, you got to be able to coach yourself through tough moments.
You that man. I think that's why I'm catching so much hell and flack right now, because it's like, okay, girl, you
Oh,
telling
you're a self
people
coach. All right, let's see. Coach
healing.
yourself.
I'm not self. Well, it has to do with self,
It still
but
has to do with self
it's
healing and
healing.
self and all that. It's like it's kind of sort of one and the same.
Mm-mm.
It is.
Mm,
You still got to heal before you can be a self coach.
but I specifically
Yeah, you.
focus on
Yes,
healing.
that's your subdivision, but in all, the whole rainbow of things. Nah, cause I be doing different hand signals and stuff, and I be like trying to stay aware of the hand signals I do, so I can be
Trying to be
able
self
to.
aware.
Yep.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Or I self sabotage myself,
You know
cause I did
what?
last episode. Like I did the juggling thing, but I didn't say juggle. Like I always, it's one part of the episode I do one hand signal, and then I don't say the right word. I be trying to be too smart for my own good,
Mm.
but I'm gonna overcome that. So on this episode, we will be talking about overcoming, like not anything in particular, just overcoming in general. Like how she said that she overcame the simple fact of that she had some stuff that happened to her over the weekend, but she was able to self-reflect and understand that you don't have to do it the way that you always been doing it. You can do it a different way.
Yeah,
So like you overcame that process.
I did, because it was hard, baby. I had all the words. Oh, I had all the words for everybody, all parties involved, and I just was like, you know what? That's okay.
Because even with that, like on that day, it was like a lot of stuff we had to overcome because we don't really have a lot of people to watch our kids, or we don't really have nobody to watch our kids.
Yeah.
So it was, how can we be able to both be outside and
Mm-hmm.
try to bring some type of income into the household while
And
our
just
kids
awareness, just like to be
is
able to
at
bring
home?
growth to our business. Like,
Yeah.
that's hard being a parent,
And
having kids and
entrepreneurs,
entrepreneurs with no
self
help.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, with nobody's help. Because people always saying they out here doing it, they getting it out the mud and all down guy. And that be cap.
Yeah.
We really people that don't got, like, we really getting it out the mud, and we really don't have no help. So we
Getting it
really
out the gravel. The earth crust is what we doing. We scraping the earth crust and we in the mantle. What you mean?
Yeah. So
Getting it out the earth core. Okay, my bad. We're just saying, like, they getting it out the mud, we getting it out the damn core. Like, we gotta get it from self.
that's a fact. Like,
Right.
because baby, the world.
But
ain't
we
always-
overcome it and
We
we
do.
understand that, all right, we could just maneuver around each other's schedules so we can be able to make stuff work.
Yeah, until we can, afford
Put
to
ourselves
separate
in our
our business.
position.
Yeah, position ourselves correctly to be able to, pay for what we need. That's just the bottom line. But it's like being over. You can't stop. The thing with overcoming, you can't let other people stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
Like, because it's always gonna be people, and they ain't always haters. Everybody always talk about the haters. We know the haters gonna be there. You
Or
live,
obstacles too.
but
Some of the
it's
it's always
going
gonna
to
be
stuff
something.
there. Like, and a lot of that is what we don't. You realize you don't have it. Or you don't have the support. You don't have the friends. You don't have the family. You don't have the money. You don't have. It's always something that you may not have, but you might not have the knowledge. You just might not know. You don't know what you don't know until you start
you in that
walking.
situation.
Yeah.
Then you gotta figure out how to overcome it.
Yeah. So, but that's the part. Like, once you realize, okay, I don't have this, understand that you don't got it. Now what? Because you can't sit there and dwell on it and like talk about it. Like, now what's about to happen?
You're not gonna overcome.
So,
If you dwell on stuff, you're just gonna be sitting there. You're gonna be stuck in one place.
that's what creates failure.
Yeah.
When you stay stuck over an obstacle or something that got in your way, and you continue to dwell on it, that's what creates failure.
And self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Self-sabotagery.
Because you don't end up doing it, and then you let that be your excuse of why you didn't get something done. But it's always a workaround somewhere.
Yeah, like it's always an obstacle, is always a workaround. Just figuring it out. Are you gonna run directly into it, or you gonna go around it? Like, what you gonna do?
Yeah, it
But
might
you
take a
gotta
little
pivot.
longer to get there. So roadblocks all the time. But,
Yeah.
So it might take a little longer to get there, but you can't let it stop you. That's the thing.
That's the part of overcoming, is not letting anything stop you. You got to take everything head on, face first, all that. Like,
Yeah,
you got to take that stuff on the chin and keep going.
and get out your feelings.
That's the main thing. To overcome anything, you got to get out your
Baby,
feelings.
get your feelings. Like, I think I learned that every time I get in the midst of something. Like, even like when I'm going through early adulthood and just childhood, really, because for me, childhood was traumatic. So I didn't operate in my feelings a lot.
Yeah.
So now that I'm older and I understand what it's like to operate in my feelings, I have to still go back to that place where it's like, okay, I can't operate this in my feelings, because then I can blow this shit up and sabotage it, or I just won't end up doing it because I'm in my feelings about it, right? So, like, even with that particular situation coming off of like last weekend with the speaking event and stuff like that, people didn't show up, and in a way, then like, they just didn't show up in different ways. They didn't show up.
Yeah.
So for me, I went to cuss everybody out. My feelings was hurt. So if I operated in a place of my feelings being hurt, and I didn't want to do it, remember? So I was saying I didn't want to do it. If I operated this off of my feelings of I don't want to do it, and then when I did do it, chaos went on around it. Now it's like, well, I'm just not gonna, like, what, like, that's it. I'm not doing it no more.
Yeah.
So they don't hurt nobody else. It hurts me because it's something I'm trying to do. So I couldn't be in my feelings about it. And then this is also, like I said, I felt like I learned a lot of growth about myself, because had I reacted like I would have reacted when I was younger, then I probably
be missing out on other events.
that. And I probably, listen.
I think you would probably feel bad now.
I
At that moment, you wouldn't feel bad, but further on down the line, you'll feel bad.
Maybe because I let myself down, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
do it.
that's why
The
I'm like,
hardest
you'll
part
feel
was me
bad.
not cussing everybody out and spazzing out. That was the hardest part for me. Like for me to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna deal with y'all when I deal with y'all. But right now, it's because I still have I have a pop up shop tomorrow.
Yeah, so you
So
can't
like I
deal with that
have
stuff.
other
You gotta
stuff
stay
going
mentally
on.
focused. You gotta stay
Yeah.
mentally locked in.
And it's called like this putting myself first. Like I can't worry about everybody else's emotions and everybody else's feelings because I have to regulate my own right now.
Yeah.
Because it's natural for me to go. Everybody know I talk shit. So everybody know like I'm a fuss. I'm gonna fuss about something, especially if you like did something to me, you gonna know about it. So that's hard to not do the thing that you're used to doing.
Or what people used to you doing.
Yeah, what people are used to you doing. So I'm like, I know I could. I have the words, but I'm not because that's not who I am and that's not where I am. So I can't let that take me back.
Yeah.
So, and that's a part of when you try to overcome stuff that might not be your fault. A lot of stuff, honestly, I don't think is a lot of people's fault. Some stuff, I think the thing that makes it your fault is how you react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's how we react to it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, one of the main things I be having to overcome these days now is, well, not even just now, just in general, is like the weather condition. Because of what I do. So it's like, it's either going to be cold outside or it's going to be hot outside.
Yeah, this
And it's
Houston, baby,
like,
just
now
loud.
it's hot outside all the time. So it's like, or it's going to rain.
Yeah.
But I got to try to overcome all that stuff. What I'm going to do to pivot so I can be able to still make some money
Yeah.
with all this weather going on. But since we finna be hot for the rest of this, for the next 3-4 months,
Yeah, I was like
like,
about the rest of the year.
I got my hat on.
Yeah.
I'm drinking my water for real. Back to up to like damn near 4 bottles of water a day.
Yeah.
4, if not 5, but gotta overcome the heat so I can be able to make bread, so I can be able to put some food on the table, as they like to say. But it's like overcoming is just something that you gotta do. That's just part of life. Like you gotta just overcome different things. Like I say a big thing that I feel like I didn't overcame was like 2 actually. Like trying to be a good husband and also trying to be a good father. Like those are 2 big obstacles I feel like that I had to overcome because one, I didn't have someone to show me how to be them. So it's like instead of sitting in my feelings and whining and complaining about not having anybody show me how to be these things, I just have to take it with a grain of salt and I just gotta figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the hard part is understanding that because you didn't have someone to show you, that don't mean that you can't do it.
Yeah.
You still can do it. And it's not like that you're not gonna like fail or bump your head or just do anything. It's just a simple fact of like if you do, dust yourself off, acknowledge it, apologize if you gotta apologize, and then like get back on the roller coaster. Because there's always going to be something going on with the kids, something going on in your marriage.
Yeah.
But it's like, what can you do to fix it? Especially with me saying that I'm the man. So it's like, you're not supposed to be sitting in your feelings when you're on your man shit. You're supposed to be able to operate outside of your feelings. And you got to overcome every single thing, every obstacle that comes in your way. You got to be able to steer your family in the right direction even if you don't understand what direction y'all going in at that moment. But you gotta hope and pray that it's for the right. It's for you doing everything for the good of your family and for the right of your family.
Yeah.
And then that's also with raising kids, like, cause like we said last week, it ain't no one size fit all when it comes to kids. And the way that your parents raise you, even if they raise you good or they raise you bad, you can't really raise your kids the same way that your parents raised you.
Yeah.
Because your kids are somewhat of you. They're not fully you.
Yeah.
So you still got to be able to deal with them in a way that
for who they
are.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's overcoming that and getting out your way. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that's the main part of overcoming is getting out your own way.
Yeah.
You're going to be a bad father if you stay in your own way. You're going to be a bad husband if you stay in your own way. You stay in just your own way. Like,
Yeah.
once you get married, because at first when we first got married, I thought that like wasn't nothing gonna change. I thought everything was gonna still like keep going the way that it was. But it's like, oh no, that's not true. Stuff do change. Once you finally do as a man, once you finally do say I do, you are literally put into the front and center with all eyes on you. How are you gonna overcome with all eyes on you? Because it's like if you don't do the right thing, your family is bound to fail.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you handle all of that and continue to take it with grace? And I think that's why a bunch of dudes like leave or they get a divorce because they can't handle the pressure. Because it is a lot of pressure when you're the man of the house.
Yeah, I can see that.
And when you trying to lead people. Because not only are you just like leading your wife, now if you got multiple kids, now you're leading your kids.
Yeah.
Like you're literally leading a village.
Right.
So it's like, how are you gonna like overcome the fears of being a husband, the fears of being a father, the fears of shit. If I lose my job, how I'm gonna take care of my family?
Yeah.
If this business stuff don't work, how I'm gonna take care of my family? Am I making the right moves to make sure we going in the right direction?
Yeah.
Should I keep them in school? Should I not keep them in school? Should they be playing more sports?
Yeah.
Should we be doing a bunch of other different things? Like, that's a lot of pressure. And I don't think a lot of dudes talk about that. That's a lot of pressure. We don't really hear that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like for the simple fact of that understanding that it is a lot of pressure, you got to be able to overcome that shit because it'd be hard. Some of the days it's hard. Some of the days it's easy, but you got to cherish the easy days. And you got to understand when it's hard, you got to take that with stride. You got to continue to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everybody looking up to you.
Right.
Like legit.
Literally.
Like literally, like everything falls up on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hard part for a bunch of dudes. And they get nervous and they just be like, I'm out of here. They go to the stove.
Not that goes to the stuff. I mean, that's a really good point. And I don't think I never thought about it like that.
Like
I never really like because like being a man is the pressure. I always say that that because you have to be the lead, like you the head of the house, like right. So that's a hard job in itself. But like you said, like it's not talked about a lot. It's not discussed. Like a lot of men keep it like private, and I don't think women we don't really do a due diligence to like figure it out. Like, you know how like it's always like understand us as a woman and understand like us as moms and like what we have to go through and how we operate our day. I don't think we consciously do the same thing for men.
Well, because I mean, I don't think it's y'all fault why y'all don't, because it's a y'all lead with y'all feelings, so it's not like it's a really a conscious thing that y'all trying to do with trying to leave out. Now I ain't gonna say all females, because some females do decide to want to leave. They do tied up on all situations.
Yeah.
But I feel like the ones that's actually like trying, I don't think they do it like out of spite or out of just, I mean, not knowing. I think they do it more so out of knowing.
Yeah, not knowing. Because y'all don't talk about it. It's like, because I think at the one point I had to tell you, like, say something. Like, just say something. So, because that'll get my attention more than, like, you just walking around not saying nothing. Or, like, to me, it seems like you fine, but then you not fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, because y'all have that, you don't really want to talk about nothing. So it's like, well, just say something. Like, if you're not happy, like, it's okay to show you're not happy. So, like, it gives me a cue to be like, okay, well, what's going on? Like,
to help you do a better job, we got to tell you.
Yeah. Like, what do you need help with? Do you need, like, and not try to have it, especially if you're married. Like, you don't have to. I think that's the way we all do, like, put on ourselves. Like, you got to do it all. And, like, you don't, especially if you're married or you're in a committed relationship. Because you have a partner for a reason.
Yeah.
So y'all should be able to have these conversations and say, like, I don't know if I'm making the right decision. At least be honest with saying, I don't know. Because then that brings down, it makes vulnerability, but it also brings down not the communication, but
it brings up
like
the communication.
It brings up the communication, but it brings down like that wall to where it's like, well, if let's say the shit go left field, right? Let's say it
Mhm.
goes left field, and you're like, well, you said, we do this, and now you have all that pressure of, well, yeah, I did say that, but I wasn't for sure. Like, if you go in saying like, hey, I'm not sure this is gonna work, it brings down into where it brings our guard down to where it's like, okay, now we understand that you're walking into something where it is uncertainty here.
Yeah.
It is like, okay, we kind of gotta like teeter totter in it, like stick your feet in the water. Let's talk about how I feel, and then figure out if we want to keep going, figure out if we want to readjust, go different directions, like figure it out as we go, or we just want to dive in.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think
That's how you overcome divorce.
that's how you overcome. Yeah, because you have to be able to communicate about
Because
the
I don't think
hard
it's
stuff.
money. I don't think it'd be money. People always say that
I think
money
it
is the
can be
main
money.
thing. It can be, but that's not the main thing. The main thing be communication.
Yeah,
Folks don't know how to
communicate
communicate.
about the
Like,
money, because money is a hard thing to communicate about, because somebody don't
money
want to
come and
feel.
go, bro.
Yeah, but for a lot of people,
Make it the end all be all, and it's not.
yeah, they make it the end. But then also, I think somebody don't want to seem selfish, and somebody don't want to seem like they lacking. So you just don't talk about it until you blow up about it. So now y'all not talking to each other, you talking at each other.
Yeah.
And now it's well, whose fault is it? And some realistically, it's both of y'all fault, because y'all didn't talk about it before y'all got to this point, and y'all hit the rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
so now it's built up tension, built up frustration. Y'all both upset on your own separate reasons. Like, if she had a spending habit, you been knew she had a spend. That was always bothering you. You should have already addressed her spending habit with her outside of you getting mad about it. Like, that's, I think we wait a long time to say something when you can say it outside of anger, right? So I think it is, but I think it's like you said, because people don't talk about it before it gets to that point. Because you have to be able to communicate on every level. That is how you overcome like divorce. Because it's a lot of conversations you're gonna have in a relationship, a successful one at least, that you're not gonna have.
Yeah.
It's a lot of conversation I had to have where I'm like, baby, I can't even believe we're sitting here having this conversation right now, because nobody talks about this.
It's much easier to just get a divorce than to stay in a,
Yeah.
to stay in a marriage.
Divorce,
Not saying I'm trying to get a divorce. I'm just saying that it's much easier. Like,
it's much easier. It's a
much
choice.
easier to just say screw
Marriage
all
is a
this
choice.
and screw all of that, and like, yeah, just do it on our own, versus actually trying to talk to each other and try to like walk each other through it so you can get to that next level.
Yeah.
Like, there's always situations that come around to where you can be like, man, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. No, it really is. Like, I have thoughts all the time. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna go have this damn conversation. Like, for what? Like, it's because, and that's operating out of ego. Like, it might be something that makes you uncomfortable. It might be something where you're like, shit, how many more times I gotta keep saying this shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it could be something to where you just be that vulnerability. Because I know I have a problem with being vulnerable. Like, I have a problem with like letting my feelings just show. So it can potentially make me feel like I'm being vulnerable. I'll kind of shy away from it and be like, well, it's not that big of a deal, right?
True.
And then it ends up becoming a bigger deal until I go ahead and talk about it, right? So it's multiple reasons, but it is a choice. I mean, that's just a choice. And you have to choose to communicate with the person that you're with. You have to choose to
Communicate,
be in it,
be in it
like
for
to
real.
like show up. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I say people that show up, you have to choose to show up for your marriage, just like you show up for yourself.
Yeah.
Every day, like whatever way that might be, whether it's financial, emotionally, like you trying to just be a listener, whatever way you need to show up that day, you have to choose that you're gonna show up for that person in the way that they need, not just the way you want to, but the way that they need you to.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of problems with a bunch of just relationships in general. A lot of people don't want to show up in the way that they should be showing up. But again, like, you can't let what you don't know, because we didn't know a lot about marriage going into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we had to figure. We're figuring it out,
Yeah, as we
right?
go.
As we go, as new problems arise, and we keep going through it. Like we keep figuring more and more out, even with business.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I know now that I'm like, I wish I would have. Like I went to the to the SBA thing to get more information, and I'm like, every time I go and get financial information about how we can get our business to do better and like how can we get funding, I'm like, when we started this business, credit scores was like through the roof. We had a good nest egg. We had everything we needed to start it off with funding it, having somebody else fund it
Yeah.
versus draining all of our stuff into it. And like now we're trying to figure it out. And it's like we already had it when we started. We just didn't know we had it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're trying to get back something that we already had, but we worked backwards.
Yeah.
But again,
We overcame it, and we just trying to figure out, all right, well, what's the next step?
Yeah, what's the next step?
Since we already have that knowledge now, so it's like, what can we do to like use that knowledge in our advantage now?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about like overcoming like problems in business, because something always gonna come up. So it's like you gotta figure it out. Like it's always something you gotta figure out. It's like a Dragon Ball Z episode. It's always a problem at the beginning, and then at the end, somebody got to come through and win. But hey,
life is like a Dragon Ball Z.
like, you never know. Like
that's hilarious.
It's the truth. You got to overcome.
That is true, and like that's really like. I'm not saying that because everybody feel like their problems is just so big and so just unique, and it's be like you're not the only person that went through that problem. I come from an abused childhood. Okay, I done seen violence on multiple scales. I've been on my own since 13. So when I tell you it's not your story, not unique, it's somebody out there that has a worse story than you, right? Because you didn't go through that story, so you might think it's worse, but you can't sulk in what happened or what didn't happen or what you don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to just get out your feelings and keep moving. Like everybody's like trying to figure that out. Like, how do I move past it? How do I heal? How do I? By doing it, literally. Yep. It's just by doing it. Like
Nike.
Just do it. Mm-hmm. For real, like you have to be able to just move on and move past it. Like it happened, acknowledge it. Now what? Like seriously, like you can't be in your feelings about it. You can acknowledge your feelings about it. We're not saying that it's not going to continue to hurt. We're not saying that you're not going to have moments and times that you think about it. But what are you going to do else? Now? Like, because that's not going to change what happened. But you can change how you spend the rest of your days. You can change your future. You can change your family dynamic. You can change your financial situation. Like you still here, so you still have time to change whatever it was that you didn't like or you didn't have. Like you just have to be committed to show up for yourself and do that.
True.
Because that's what you have to make. Before you make a commitment to somebody else, you have to commit to yourself first. Like I can't give you all of me if I don't give my own self all of me. Like if I'm not gonna be serious about my own mental health and my own progression, how can I take you serious? How can I root you on? How can I be there for you?
Didn't John Legend say that?
What?
The song, give me all of me, I give you all of you. I mean, you gotta laugh about it because it's been so strong. It's been a strong episode. I don't know. Maybe. We did banter a little bit at the beginning.
A bit. I thought so.
Yeah. Nah, I feel like we dropped some gems though. Yeah, it was gems. We be dropping jewels.
We dropped jewels.
You think this a jewelry store around this one? You would think we the people that Kanye don't like the way we be dropping jewels. I didn't say the names. I ain't trying to get canceled like that. Can't say that name.
No, but
yeah, I know who I'm talking about. Jury just dropped the Uri at the end. Wait.
Yes.
That's wild. Like I really just thought about that. They would call it jury.
Like for real.
And they the
Like
ones that got all the diamonds and stuff. And
mhm.
it's jury, but you drop the eerie at the end and it's who got the diamonds. But I tell you,
He like that's what mind
that's
blown.
wild. Like that's some wild stuff. Them boys, they be doing it.
Not that we doing it.
Mm-hmm. Chaos.
Oh, that's definitely what they bring. Like
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like, oh, something else I had to overcome.
what?
Man, when the guard had fell off and I cut that patch in my head.
Oh my god.
But I'm good for like messing up all my hair about what, maybe once every 10 years or some stuff. I mean, that's a good record. Like,
Santana couldn't contain himself.
oh nah, he couldn't. Even little baby, he couldn't contain himself too. He was like, he was looking at me.
He was like, "What the hell you did?"
Yeah,
Like if he could have said, "What the hell," I think he would have said,
yeah,
like,
he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. Like, but rubbed my head and everything. I'm like, God, dog, don't do me like that, bro. But I overcame it. Like I
he saw
overcame
him
him.
just cut his hair over the weekend. Maybe he looked again to make sure, like, you good this, are you good
Mm-hmm.
this time?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to
Peeking around
hold
the
it
corner
together.
laughing though. He gonna smile to laugh. Though that's the thing about having a preteen too, because they gonna fire you up, bro.
Mm,
Like for everything. It don't matter
everything.
what you do. Like he just there. He
Right
watching, he
there.
studying, and he ready to laugh. Like,
It's like being stalked in your own house. Like you didn't even know he was there, but he was there. Like
oh no, you know he there because he's loud. So he gonna ask you a million questions. But you gotta overcome it.
not you gotta overcome it.
You do.
Being harassed by your kid, man, today I definitely had to because they was gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, baby. I would have to go.
But nah, man, the more of the story is like to overcome your obstacles, you gotta just do it, man. You
You
have
have to
to.
do it.
You
Get
gotta
out your
do it.
feelings and just do it. Like it's okay if you don't want to. Don't matter if you do it crying. It don't matter if you do it mad and upset and
And there's nothing
cussing.
wrong with
Just
failure.
do it.
It's acknowledging the failure and then it's keep going. Figure out what you can do better the next time.
I believe, and I told Santana that earlier this week. Failure doesn't start until you decide to stop. You don't become a failure until you stop trying.
True.
For me, that's because that's. I mean, you can't fail if you're still doing it.
Maybe like I don't know. You could, cause you could still be doing it and fail.
If you keep doing the same thing, you're not real. Just that's like taking a test and not going to study after you made the F, and you got a chance to redo it, and you still didn't study, and then you made it like now you self like you not doing it, you're not trying, and that's what
True.
I tell people. For me, I'm a very simple person. I could just see that you trying, and that's enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
But for people who like to show up or make up at the last minute, I don't be here for that because you're not really trying. You cheating the system. That's what it, and you can't cheat your way through life, or your life is turning out the way it's turning out because you keep trying to cheat the system. So that's why you keep running into multiple unnecessary problems because life gonna give you problems anyways. But
Yep.
some of problems we put on ourselves, like people who have kids, and like that's the thing. But like single mothers, and I'll be trying to be on them all the time.
Is that your rant? You want to rant that real quick?
Yeah, that's my rant.
Well, we finna get into the rant part of this bad boy. I don't get it.
It's we all had the same choices, right?
Yeah.
Like I get tired of that whole well, I made a bad decision. Okay, you made a bad decision, but girl, we all had the same choice.
Don't nobody ever
We
say they had made a bad decision. I ain't never heard not
I
one
do hear.
single mama may say I made a bad
I've heard.
decision.
I'm not gonna discredit them like that. I have heard some say that, but here's the thing with
Far
your
and few in
bad.
between.
But the thing is, we all had that same decision. We all had the decision to mess around with somebody we know ain't had no business, and then have a baby because he lied to you, told you a whole bunch of empty promises, and you did it. We all was in that predicament, girl. Like, and some of us was smart enough to say no. Some of us was like, nah, I'll be damned. That's about to be my life. Because again, we knew what we wanted out of life. Like you gotta know where you're going. At least where you want to be going. Like, we all had the same decision to make. You ain't special because you just messed up, but some of y'all done messed up a couple times. Like, so now what's the excuse for that? Like, that's failing the test over and over and over. Like, you failed it the first time, then you got another try, and you failed it again. Like, you gotta like stop acting like you the only person in life that is getting this thing that's happening, this choice. You ain't the only one that had that choice happen to you. Other people have and they passed it. Now, because you didn't have enough self-discipline, because that's what it takes to overcome. You have to have some type of self-discipline. And I had a teacher that used to tell me that when I was in school. Like, self-discipline. She used to get on me all the time. Like, she used to say that you had to have self-discipline. She's like, you're not going to make it through life without self-discipline. I didn't know what that meant. Like, I was like, girl, what are you talking about? Now, I think about that. And I don't remember which teacher that was. I don't know if it was Miss Strahan or Miss Wiley, which was my dance teacher. But she was like, you have to have
Sound like
self-discipline.
something a dance teacher say, because I mean, you gotta have self-discipline to be a good dancer.
Yeah, like, it could have been her, because I think I was like third, fourth grade when she said that. And she's like, you have to have self-discipline, like self-discipline to get you way further than like you just being smart. So she's like, you could be smart, but if you don't have no self-discipline, then like there ain't nothing you can do with it.
Yeah.
And like, I really did not understand it when she said it. I was like, okay. Now as an adult, I'm like, oh no, self-discipline can get you a lot further. It can get you out of a lot of situations if you know how to control yourself. If you can't control yourself, it ain't nothing you can do with nobody else. People, that's what's wrong with a lot of kids. Their parents ain't got no self-discipline, so they don't know how to discipline their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Self-discipline. You ain't the only one out here making choices. You're not the only person out here that has obstacles and come from trauma and come from just a bad lifestyle or a bad situation. Other people have and have come to be successful adults or live the later half of their life happy. It's the choices that you continue to make. Don't continue to make bad choices. Make conscious choices. Have discipline. Make choices outside of your feelings. Because a lot of people get stuck in their feelings.
Yeah.
And that's what mess a lot of people up, because you made an emotional decision, not a logical decision. That's the thing.
That's what's up. My rant. What shall I rant about this week? Here we go. Hell yeah, we finna go. Like, man, put some clothes on at these babies' graduation. Real tea. Put some clothes on. I don't see how it's all over TikTok.
I haven't. I hear people talking about it, but I haven't seen it. It's like prom. I haven't seen anything.
That boy was lame as hell for bringing that horse to prom. Since you want to say prom, no, he actually came in on a horse. Like, yeah, boys was on the horse. Some lame ass little boy.
Who bought that kid a horse to take to prom?
Probably some single mama. You know how they get down. They do dumb stuff like that, thinking that stuff is cool. And another thing about this prom stuff, like, man, like, these dudes out here, they wild, and prom is not that serious. It ain't. For y'all to be sitting out here, like,
they spending bread on it.
Spending bread for some folks that you've been seeing for the past 4 years. The shit on people. Pretty much, because that's what they doing, or trying to.
They know their kid not going to college. Like, because how was just, I can tell y'all now what Santana prom gonna look like. I'm gonna tell you, because I'm not. I
don't even know, but I know we ain't finna spend all that money on it.
You finna wash up that good old Honda out there, boy.
Nah, okay, he probably not. Like, it depends on what we have at that time. We might have a because your ass ain't finna drive my good shit. Like,
listen,
trying to go to prom.
You finna wash this car. You finna get you a nice little suit, you know what I'm saying? A little polo, something like that. Get you some nice shoes, sneakers or something.
I don't know about polo. Because Polo kind of lame to these kids these days.
Well, you better pick something along the lines. If you think I'm finna go get a YSL suit for a 17, 18-year-old, you got another thing coming. You think I'm about to spend
Nah.
thousands of dollars on a suit that you won't wear
Nah.
one damn day? I can tell you now, I ain't doing it.
Only designer you gonna have on is my cologne.
That's what I'm not. Who finna? Then y'all gonna want to go out afterwards? Then no, no, I'm not. No. Your budget is $1,000. Do what you please with it. Like,
And that's
you
for
can
food
have
and outfit.
yeah, that's for
Like,
food, outfit, whatever you what the whole night, the whole shebang. You get $1,000. Figure it out.
if you get that much, man, I don't know if I'm willing to allocate $1,000 for prom.
Cause he might want a hotel party or something. Cause
He ain't having no damn hotel party after no prom. You know what happened at hotel parties at the prom? Babies. I didn't have no teenage kids. I ain't having no kids that have teenage kids. We don't having that in my house.
He said, "You coming home?"
Like, I mean, if you want to go to your female house after prom, all right. If her daddy cool with that.
Not if her daddy cool with that.
True. But like, as in, like, spending bread for you to go get a hotel, like, I'm not giving you money to go smash, bro.
Like, you gotta say it like that.
But
though.
Because that's the truth.
That don't mean that's what's.
No, that actually does mean what that's gonna happen. So, like, yeah, I'm not giving him money to go smash.
I said a party.
He's not having no party at the prom. I ain't heard of not one person had no party at the prom and everything went fine.
Nah, they prom. Everybody got arrested.
See, it's always something going on at the prom. So nah, he don't need to be out there doing that stuff. Like, we ain't doing all that. Prom ain't that important.
You get a good $1,000. You do you, boo. Like, have a ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. But I'm not spending thousands and thousands, especially even if you don't want to go to college. It's something else we could be doing with that money. That could be money for you to start your own business. That could be money for you to go travel for a year. That could be money. Like, it's a whole bunch. That could be down payment on your another car that you want. Like, it could. I could think of a whole lot of other stuff that you could be doing versus I'm not spending $1,000 on a suit.
Nah.
That's crazy. And I only said $1,000 because, Biden said inflation ain't nothing. So by then,
that 8% ain't nothing to him.
That's what I'm saying. So by then, the suit and the shoes, we don't know. We don't know.
True.
So that's why I'm like,
at this moment, we just saying a G.
A decent suit, okay? Especially for him, his size, you know what I'm saying? He's not looking like he's going to be on the small side. So I'm just saying, a decent suit and some shoes, that might be a good $500-$600 right there. I'm just saying.
True.
Shoes like $300 these days. It's ridiculous. So you going out to eat? Well, hell, we know going out to eat just for us is $100. So who knows by then? So that's what I'm saying. Like $1,000 might be doable.
Nah, that is true. Yeah, you never know. But that being said, I'm Hunt.
I'm Kiki.
This is the Hunt Life Podcast. Hunt Life.
Live dreams. Bye, y'all.
What's good, people? Before y'all leave, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Oh, and follow us at
Hunt Life the Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. You can also find me at I'm the Key on Instagram, and you can follow us on Hunt Life Co. on Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me on Mr. Hunt Bubbles on everywhere. Mr. Hunt Bubbles on everything, and also Hunt Files. And don't forget, if you got any comments or any statements or anything that you want to leave us, you can always find us up on Instagram and Hunt Life the Podcast. Have a great day, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Hunt Life, live dreams.